says I provoked it. Teachers from school testify that Vance was
Terrorizing
always
the local wildlife.
aggressive and rage-filled. Every incident he ever caused is brought into it. Vance is found guilty as an adult of 4th-degree assault and is given 9 months in jail, plus a $5,000 fine. I walk out of the courthouse, stare up at the clouds. It's finished. No matter what happens, no matter how old I get, I'll never forget Vance McGee and his retard 3. And if you ever plan on turning it up in my school, just remember who stands between you and chaos.
This episode we're going to do the Shark's Temple quest.
It's like advanced shit for smart kids. The teachers decided it's a good idea for us to spend a day with the TARD kids because we were ahead of schedule for the marking period. I'd never seen a TARD previous to this encounter, so I did not know what to expect. Walk into the TARD HQ. It seems to be a regular classroom filled with ugly students. Everybody is assigned their own personal TARD to talk to. I get assigned Neil. I walk up to the TARD and say, "Hello, I'm Phil." "Hey, Phil." One fluent word, "Hey, Phil." He says this whenever he is within 30 feet of me. And it becomes my only warning of the inevitable oncoming shitstorm. Sit down and see he is cutting paper. Ask him what he's making. What? TARD starts to make the screeching sound. The only thing I can compare it to is the sound of a fucking raptor. A fat downy TARD runs up to us. "Stupid!" Neil gets up and continues his rat-tard roar directly in her face. Downy TARD goes batshit, engages TARD strength and flips the entire table over. Neil not only continues his TARD roar, but moves closer to the downy child. The down kid just starts screaming and tries to run for the door. He gets to open it and smashes into it head first. K.O. Neil silences his roar. He sits down and continues cutting the paper as if nothing had happened. TARD wranglers run in and retrieve Neil and the downy child. They are both sent home. And that, my friends, is the first of my many stories of Neil. Just tell me if you want more. After our first fateful encounter, I hadn't seen Neil for a while. So this story takes place about 3 months after my previous story. Walking down the hall with friends to lunch, talking about usual 5th grade shit, Pokemon and whatnot. Your fake yet memorable voice. No answer. Pretend I heard nothing to the events of last time. Hear the sound yet again, except this time directly in my ear. He had just appeared at my side. He had to be at least 30 or so feet in the other direction previously. This speed will come into play in later encounters. Wave awkwardly to him. "Hey, Neil." He extends a bag of Cheetos he had in his hand in my direction. "No thanks, Neil." My friend, not knowing the kind of devastation Neil is capable of, reaches over and grabs one of the Cheetos out of the bag without asking. Neil looks up with pure malice. "Oh fuck, not again." Approaches my friend deliberately, looking into his eyes. Engage rat-tard roar. This one was in short bursts. It appears as if he has different roars for different situations. Friend says, "What's wrong with him?" Say nothing, as I do not want to feel Neil's wrath. Friend backs away as Neil approaches, chewing the Cheeto. Neil lets out one last violent TARD roar and hurls himself at my friend, knocking him over. He jams his hand into my friend's mouth and retrieves the liquidy remnants of the Cheeto, while continuing his TARD roar directly in his face. He stands up and eats liquidy half Cheeto after silencing his roar. TARD wrangler comes speeding down the hallway and grabs Neil by the wrist, holding him back to TARD HQ. Waves at me. "Thank you." Not a single ounce of regret or any emotion, for that matter, in his eyes. I wave at him in utter awe. Bye, Neil. You guys want more? Neil, Part 3. Battle of the Tards. You see, Neil mainly kept to himself. He did not like his Tard kind. But he had an extreme dislike for one Tard named James. This is the first of their battles that I... The first of their battles that I saw. Be in 6th grade now. New AI teacher is a very avid Tard supporter. We are now going to help the Tards out once a week for the entire year. I enter the Tard HQ and see Neil sitting in the corner. Hasn't grown an inch since last year. Turns out he will remain 5'0" for his entire life. He looks as if he is in total concentration reading the book.
I'll kill your shot.
I want that
Yes,
video.
skewer him.
Find him deep in the
He
ruins
gives
of
me one of
Granite
those
down
two
south.
guitar grins. Sit next to him and look at the book. Dr. Seuss's A Cat in
Shark's
a Hat.
Temple Idol.
A tall,
I'll never
skinny
look at
kid
another
walks over
festival
towards
again
us.
after this.
I could tell that he was a dick from the second I saw him. What are you reading, Neil? Snatched his book out of Neil's hand. This book is for babies. Nick gets up. Very bad news. James holds it above his head. Turtle! Neil's rage is apparent. It is that of 1,000 suns. Neil sounds his rap-tard screech. This is slightly different from his roar. Its sole effect is to piss off other Tards. Stupid Neil, take your dirt book! Too late for that part. Neil continues to approach, with his fist above his head as far as he can reach. Screech continues. At this point, Tard HQ is compromised. Tards are going crazy. Crayons and shit are being thrown. One Tard was hurled into a ball in a puddle of piss. AI class is told to evacuate. I stayed to watch the imminent walls. James is now punching his ears for dear life. Neil is finally within striking distance of James. He throws his mighty fist down into James's nuts with the accumulated force of 1,000 band-aiders. James drops and begins to throw up onto magic carpet. Neil silences the screech, picks up the book James had stolen from him, and sits down to read it directly in James's pile of throw-up. But why, .jpg?
By the gods.
He looks up at me with that toothy grin as I just stare. Tard wranglers bust in, and one grabs me to bring me to safety. The others grab the debilitating James and Neil. Neil screams after me, "Thank you!" I just watch as he is hauled off to the principal's office, not giving a single bit of resistance. That day was known as End Day up until I left for the high school. Neil, Part 3. He in second market period now. Neil has been suspended for pulverizing James's nuts. He's back now. I have started to look forward to our day selling guitars just because of Neil. Unfortunately, it's not that day. Be in art class. The teacher says we have a Tard coming to our class from now on because the school has started a new integration program for Tards. Neil walks through the fucking door. Class, this is Neil. Hello, Neil, he said with reason as I waved. Thank you. Teacher lets him sit next to me because he knows me.
James walks into class after him. Oh shit, I forgot JPG. James is introduced to class and is put at the same table as us just by luck. We are starting watercolor painting right now. Neil decides he wants to paint an apple because that's what I was doing. James starts shit with us because he's a dick. Your apples look like shit. Neil ignores him because he's fucking Neil and he doesn't give a fuck. James, obviously anchored by being ignored by me and Neil, pours all of his paint onto my painting. Don't give a fuck, but Neil sure as hell did. Commence Raptard Roar, short burst mode. This is when I found out that the short burst means he's about to wreck shit. Neil throws all his paint right into James's eyes as the class looks on the floor.
Down there.
Failures! James can't see shit, and Neil has taken out Skittles that I assumed he had hidden in the foreskin of his penis. I found out he's uncircumcised in a later incident, and begins pelting James with them. He's hurling these at Mach 5 speeds into him. James falls off the stool he's sitting on and brings the girl sitting next to him along too. Neil walks around the table, picks up the paint and slowly empties it onto both James and the girl. It is apparent that Neil does not give two shits about civilian casualties. The roar has stopped. Kids are all huddled into the corner aside from me, the two tards, and the poor girl caught in the mix. Teachers signal for tard wranglers outside. James and Neil are picked up and taken from the classroom. Neil is in complete and utter peace while being carried away. He simply waves at me. Breaking. And that was the end of the school's integration program after the girl who got wrecked parents attempted to sue the school. Neil, the story of the lightning raptard. Be in 7th grade now. Haven't seen Neil in over a year. He and his parents had moved to a different school district, possibly due to the previously mentioned problems with this one. Be in the 3rd marking period. It's okay, not the same without Neil though. Walking down the hall one day, lo and behold, Neil is walking down the hall, all 5 feet of him. Run up to him. Hey Neil, you coming back to school again? Me too. He now has his own personal tard wrangler at all times except for lunch, who explains everything to me. Unfortunately, I have no classes with Neil due to the whole integration system being destroyed by the wrath of Neil. I see him in the halls all the time now. You see, the thing about our middle school is that it has multiple buildings, which you have to travel outside to get to. As I mentioned before, Neil possesses lightning speed, which he doesn't display very often. One day, while I'm walking to woodshop with my friends, I see something blaze past me, followed by a familiar noise. The lightning raptard's mighty roar. 50 feet behind it is the wrangler, unable to keep up with him. Everybody looks on in shock as Neil plows directly through a small Asian girl carrying her books. As previously stated, Neil doesn't give two shits about civilian casualties. Neil looks behind to see how far he is from the wrangler. He silences his roar as he can see he is wrong. Neil fails to see the glass door directly in front of him, though, and plows through it, just as he did the Asian girl. Neil is out. Turn right.
Off we go. Off we go now.
You found it. That's the necklace.
That shark put up a good fight. He must have liked it.
We can finally live. No more vegetables.
We'll have a new life. One far from our past.
I know what that's like. Good luck.
Δώσ' με ευκαιρία